So what we do? Can I leave?
Where were you when I gave the instruction? Like I gave a break. Did you go for a break and join?
Okay, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay, yeah, I'll continue. Hold on.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
People are back after the break. Raise up your hand. I could see only 6 to 7 are back. Means okay. 10 of you are back after the break. Okay. What about others? Okay, we'll move on. I just wanted you to understand one small thing. In case if you are attending, I mean, if you are interested to continue this training course and if you are attending your sessions regularly, it is mandatory for you guys to attend both the technical and the soft skill session. Okay, because this is a Java full stack program wherein you'll have categories like soft skill and technical. In case if you are attending only the technical and missing soft skill, or only attending soft skill and missing technical, it is not going to work out. Okay, I'm reminding you again, because at the end, if you have completed everything in your technical and your attendance is low in your soft skill, and you did not complete any of the requirements in your soft skill, then you will be considered as, I mean, you will not be considered as a training completed student. Is there anyone facing an issues in such a way? Are you guys, everyone attending the soft skill and the technical? I'm lowering down all your hands. If there is anyone attending either of the session, please do raise up your hands. I wanted you to tell me what is the reason, okay?
Ma'am, how much attendance is the necessary for the exam and for the company?
Your voice is not clear, Ritesh.
Ma'am, how much attendance is the compulsory for sitting in any company?
The company requirement varies from the organization to organization which you are attending to complete this training. Okay, the Java full stack and getting the certificate and getting eligible for placement, you have to have at least 80 to 90% of attendance.
Okay, ma'am.
And in both technical and in soft skill. It's not like you have both the thing, you have to attend properly and you should complete all the requirements and the attendance percentage. So only two of you, Manvita and Sonia, are facing an issue. So I want you to tell me that you are attending technical and not able to attend the soft skill. Is that the case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So at times you are missing. That's fine. You have to manage it to get your attendance percentage by planning accordingly and completing your requirements. Not at all attending is a very serious problem. Sonia, what is your status? And Aarti, I could see you have raised up your hand. Drop that. What is the status of your issue? Drop it. Drop us a message. Okay. As I've already mentioned, for example, in a week, you're attending all the sessions, but in the next week, you're missing 2 sessions or 3 sessions. So this thing you have to plan accordingly and make sure you are meeting up the requirement. Okay. People who do not attend at all, not even attended one session till date, tell me. Okay. So is it possible for you guys to join for the session and attend it and get some permission from the soft skill trainer during the travel? During the travel, is it possible for you to attend? Like maybe 5 to 10 minutes late, then continuing with the session. Yes, soft skill session is an interactive session. At times, like, could you get some permission and you can give your contribution at the end? Such permissions have you guys asked with your faculty? So your soft skill session is from 5 to 6, right? So in that case, if you are listening to the session for 30 to 40 minutes and contributing yours at the end, she allows, right? In that case, you can be part of it. So you have to plan accordingly. So don't ever miss either of the session in a day. In case if you are able to, there comes an emergency, there comes a situation, requirement for some other thing, yes, I can understand. But as I have already told you, you should meet up the requirements in terms of percentage and in the completion of your quizzes, projects, everything. When it comes to soft skill, group discussion, personal interview, all those things. Okay, so you should keep a track of it in case if you are having such an issue and make it happen. Clear for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Then we'll start with our today's discussion. Can you guys let me know what have we discussed in our yesterday's session? What was yesterday's topic?
Interface.
Interface, good. Followed with only interface,
Wrapper class.
wrapper class, right? So can you guys add on your understanding what is an interface, how does it works, for what did we use, and what is a wrapper class, how does it works, what are the types, when do we use it, such inputs?
We use implements keyword to use interface in a class.
Correct. Whenever you want your class to get the properties and behaviors from an interface, implements is the keyword. Good. Next.
We perform multiple inheritance using interface.
Yes, we can achieve multiple inheritance using interface. Superb. Any other key points to be remembered? Others?
Variable will be declared using public static final.
Okay, whenever you declare a variable in your interface, the default accessibility is public static final. Okay, good.
It looks like a class, but not a class.
Yes, super.
You cannot create objects for interface.
Great. You cannot create objects for your interface. Then,
What
what is the default?
Class is not possible.
Yes, interface to interface is extends keyword. Okay, what is the default accessibility for your method?
Public abstract.
Public abstract. Out inside your class, what was your default accessibility? For a method inside the class, what was the default accessibility? You know the answer?
Default.
Default itself. So whenever you are overriding the abstract method inside a class which implements your interface, then mandatory you have to give the public access modifier. Next, what is the name of the class which implements your interface?
Implementable class.
Implementable class. Okay, super. Now we'll move on for the wrapper class. What is wrapper class?
Which
Wrap
contain primitive data
primitive
types.
input and stores.
Yes, there are one which wraps your primitive data type into what?
Objects.
As an object. Okay, great, good. So now, whenever you are trying to do a typecasting in your wrapper class, what or how should you do it? Should you should you cast it to a primitive, or should you cast it directly to an object? Is my question clear? If I wanted to do a typecasting, should I cast it to a primitive type? Then automatically it will be stored in object, or should you directly cast it into an object? Yesterday we had an example for this.
First, we have to cast to primitive.
Okay, the answer is you have to cast it to the primitive, then the wrapper will automatically wrap that primitive to an object one. Yesterday it was day 9, I guess. So here, could you see the difference? So whenever you are having a primitive variable, okay, and you are trying to store that in an, for example, the primitive was float, and you are trying to store that in the object format in an integer type, then float has to be converted to integer, and we have to manually do it. And for that, you have to cast it. So here, the casting should be of primitive, not that object. This is what the question I asked you. Maybe for the next time when someone asks you, you should be able to answer. Okay, people are clear with all your yesterday's concept. Quickly give me a confirmation by raising up your hand. And guys, only if you are going to be regular for the session, you are going to understand your concepts in a format. Okay, good. So I could see 11 different people have raised up your hand stating that you are clear. Okay, now the next thing which we are going to see is going to be string concept. So we have learned about primitive data types, and we have seen how do you cast your, how do you store your primitive in the form of objects. Now we are moving on for the non-primitive one, which is going to be string is one of your non-primitive data type. Now you guys tell me, what do you know about string?
Collection of characters.
Collection of characters. Maybe we
Stored in
cannot
the
directly
database.
say as a collection of characters. I want you to reframe it.
It is used to store the sentence.
It is used to store the sentence. Okay. Next.
Stored in double quotes.
Stored inside your double quotes. Okay. Then. Okay. So now, whenever we say string variable will accept collection of characters, instead of that, it's better you say it stores your inputs in the array of characters. Okay, there is a difference between arrays and collection, because there is a separate topic called array in Java. There is a separate topic called collection in Java also. Is that clear for everyone? Please use a statement saying array of, it stores your inputs in the array format of characters. I'm not sure how many of you know that there is a topic called collection, but in Java, we do have a topic called collection. And I'm sharing a PPT. And once it is visible, kindly let me know. Yes, okay. So now moving on here, as you guys told, it's going to have a characters to be formed in the sequence. So sequence of characters, and it's not a primitive data type. For example, if you say hello, so see here, string is implemented in character array. It will be stored in this format. Okay. Now strings are going to be object. Internally, strings are going to be classes. Always it will be stored in the form of object only. And the string is under the java.lang package. Okay. These are the basic things. Why did I move on to the PPT? Yes, there is a reason behind. So first, how do we create a string variable? How do we create a string variable? How do we create a primitive data type variable? Use your chat box to give me an example for primitive data type variable creation. Let it be any type of primitive. It's your choice. You have to create one variable, assign a value to it, and send it in the chat. Okay, int I is equal to 10. Good. Data type, variable name, and the value. Okay, good. So Sheikh Mohammed has given string type creation. Okay. So the question is primitive type. How do we create it? Okay. So how do we create a primitive type variable? We first tell what data type we are going to create, followed with what name do we assign for that variable, followed with the value initialized to that variable. Right. But when it comes to string data type variable creation, there are two possible ways of variable creation. What all those? That is using string literal format, using new keyword. Only the names are new for us, but the syntax is a well-known syntax only. Okay. So what is a string literal? If we create a primitive variable, we follow a procedure, right? In the same way, if you create a string variable, then that is string literal. Means here you will give the data type, you will give your variable name, and you will give a value for it. And as we know that we give string inputs inside your double quotes. So here is your double quotes. This is using string literal. Now in case if you go using new keyword, we know how do we create an object using new keyword. So here similarly you say string s is equal to new string, and here you pass your input. And I believe every one of you know both the syntax, only the names are new. Yes? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, why are we more concentrated into this types of creation? The answer is, depending on the type of creation, the storage of your variable will be varying. Okay, if you go with string literal, it stores in a certain format. If you go with using new keyword, it stores in a different format. What is the difference is what we are going to see it today. Before that, is there anyone aware of the difference? Do you know what is the difference? Okay, so I consider yes. So I consider the answer to be no. So we'll see the difference in the next slide. Okay, now before that, I have given a very simple program, predict the output and tell me what's your output of this particular code.
Programming and world in different lines.
Programming and world will be printed because here, even though I have opted for different types of creation, I told you the storage is only going to be different. But here I expect the value stored in that memory to be printed. That's it. So you get the input to be printed. Now here comes your memory allocation. So let's imagine you are writing a program and you are creating a string variable using string literal format. Now, where does this string input get stored? So your string inputs will be stored inside your heap memory, and inside your heap you will have a separate storage saying string constant pool. Okay, so inside the string constant pool only, this hello, that is the value which I have initialized, will be stored. I repeat, whenever you are creating a string variable, your inputs will be stored inside your heap memory. And if that is string literal, then inside heap you have a separate storage saying string constant pool. So here the constant word is missing. Here is a complete name. String constant pool. Inside that string constant pool only, the input or the value will be stored. Later, it will get a reference with the variable name whichever we have assigned. Is everyone clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now here comes your next question. Now in case, okay, if I'm going to store one more variable and it also takes the same value which is hello. Now already I have my heap memory. in which I have string constant pool, in which already I have hello input with a reference of str. Now tell me, will this second hello will be stored in the next memory in your string constant pool, or it gives one more reference to the already available one? What do you think?
Reference.
Reference, okay. I'll go with a majority answer. Every one of you keep responding. The first option is takes a separate memory in a string constant pool, or it takes the previous memory and gives a reference alone.
Reference.
Reference. Just guess it out in case if this question is asked in interview, you have to guess it out, right? In such way, guess it. Okay, reference 4 answers I have got and separate 1 answer I have got. Out of 21 participant, is that only 5 of you active? Separate. Okay, so the right answer is it takes the reference. That is the major difference. Whenever you are working with string literal and if a same input is stored in different variable, then it takes the same memory only. Just because it is hello, just because it is already available in your string constant pool, it takes a separate memory. Is everyone, sorry, it takes the same memory and gives a reference. Is that clear for everyone? Okay.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
continuation of the same. Okay. Now this is a theoretical explanation which I have added. Whichever I explained it orally now, the same is added over here. Now here the continuation same. I'm having a string str hello and I'm having string str1 hello, and I am going with the third time hello input to be print stored, but this time I'm opting the new keyword option, new keyword storage. Now already you have your heap memory, already you have your string constant pool, you have hello input which will have str reference, str1 reference. Now what do you think? Where does this third hello will be stored?
Separate.
Separate. Okay. How many of you say it's separate? Okay, it's correct. It takes a separate location or separate space or a memory. But where does it take? Inside your heap or inside your string constant pool?
String constant pool.
String constant pool? The answer is it takes, where is my cursor? Yeah, it takes inside your heap memory. Since you have used the new keyword option, it will be stored inside your heap memory. So here, hello, a memory, a separate storage will be created, and this hello will be stored, and it will get a reference yes over here. Clear? Whenever you go creating your variable using string literal, only then it stores inside your string constant pool. If you go using new keyword, it will be stored directly inside your heap memory. Type yes if you are clear. Okay, now moving on, a continuation of the same example. So let's imagine you are having S1. Okay, and that is also using new keyword, and that is also having the hello input. Now what do you think? Will S1 will point here? Since it is new keyword, it stores inside your heap memory only. Obvious. So since we already have a storage which hello is your stored value, will S1 will be stored here or will it take a separate memory? What do you think? Give your answers in the chat. When I say S1, new string hello, it takes a separate or it gives a reference. Okay, the answer is right. It takes a separate memory only. So this is wrong. Okay, this is not going to work out. it takes a separate memory. Okay, so always remember only if your type of creation is string literal, if the input is same memory will be shared by variables. If you are going for new keyword type of creation, even though the input is same, it takes a separate memory only. Second difference, if your type of creation is string literal, it is inside your string constant pool in your heap memory. If it is new keyword, it is directly inside your heap memory. If you have got this clarity, please do raise up your hands because we are going to seek some predict the output questions. Only if you have clarity, you will be able to answer. Okay, I could see 13 of you have raised up your hand. Now we'll see some predict the output question. And this is an explanation, whatever I have told you now. Now here, first of all, how many of you know how does the double equal to works in your string inputs? When I say str double equal to str1, what will be compared? Okay, so whenever you go with s double equal to, no, in a string, your memory will be compared. That is why I told you a big explanation to understand the difference in storage, difference in memory allocation. Now here, double equal to will compare the memory and gives you output accordingly. So give a try and tell me what will be the output of this program. Okay, I could see few responses saying true, false. Okay, let's check it out. That's right, it is true and false. Let me give a diagrammatic representation for the first question alone. Next, you should be able to understand on your own. So here, I am working with your string inputs. So let's consider this is your heap memory. Then I notice I'm trying to create a variable using string literal. So here I'll have a string constant pool. Let me write SCP, which is string constant pool. So here I have hello as the input. So here hello will be stored and it takes a reference which is str. Okay. Next, again you are going with your string literal format and the input is same hello. So what happens? It takes the same one and I'll say str1 as one alone over here. Next, you create a variable using new keyword. So it will be stored inside your heap memory directly. And the input is going to be hello over here. And it gets a reference saying str2. Now, str double equal to str1. As I've already told you, double equal to checks for your memory. So is str sharing, is str pointing to a memory? And is str1 also having the same memory? The answer is yes, you get 2 as your output. str double equal to str2. str is pointing somewhere inside your string constant pool and str2 is pointing inside your heap memory. So both are different, having a different memory. So it is a false. Good. Here comes your next question. Give a try.
True, false, true.
True, false, true.
True, false, and true. Okay. Let me wait for others to respond. Okay, I get one different answer saying true, false, and false. Okay, so the right answer is true, false, and false only. I repeatedly told you, if you are using new keyword and if you are storing same input, will it take a separate memory or will it share the memory? What you guys told me?
Separate memory.
Separate memory. Then here what happens? This would be the last time I'm drawing a diagram and explaining you. So inside this heap, you have your string constant. You have hello input over here. So here you will get str1. I'll write 1 alone. And since it is string literal, you get str2 also pointing here. Then you will have s1 hello. So here you have hello and here you have s1. Now s2 new hello. Will it take a separate memory? The answer is yes. So s2 will be pointing here. Even though the input is same, if you have opted for new keyword, the separate memory will be allocated. So when I say str1, str2 pointing to the same place, so same memory. True. str2, s1, str2 is pointing somewhere inside string constant pool and s1 inside your heap memory, obviously different memory. So false. S1 and S2 both are pointing inside heap memory only, but it is taking a separate reference, right? It is taking a separate memory. So there will be a difference in memory. So you get false as your output. So for the people who told me true, false, and true, is that clear? You cannot blindly say it is inside heap memory. So same. No. Inside heap, it takes a separate location. So it is different only. Good. Here comes your next predict the output. And when you wanted to compare your value, then you use dot equals method. And here is an example for that. Give a try and tell me what's your output. So I could see answers to be false and true. And yes, that's right. It's a false and true. Moving forward, we will see some more programs, example programs in your Eclipse. Let me share my screen. And I believe the basics is clear. Whenever you come across with any questions with a storage oriented, you will be able to answer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So now we'll move on for some sample programs inside your string concept. Now tell me, string is placed under which package?
Java.lang.
Java.lang package. This always you should keep it in your mind. Now followed with that, you might also come across with certain questions which will be using some predefined methods. So I'm going to show you, we are going to have some example programs where most of the important methods are used. Followed with, I'll share a PPT in the Google Classroom. I wanted you to go through it. So here I will create a new package saying com.cg.string examples, in which I'm creating a class string operations demo, which will have public static void main. Done. So now here, let me create a string variable. String s1 is equal to new string, and inside the double quotes I'll give an input saying Indian. Okay. Now, if I wanted to print S1, what do? I say system.out.println of S1, you get Indian to be printed. But it is in lowercase. In case if I want it in uppercase, what should you do? You have to select the variable, the variable which holds your respective input, separated with dot, and you call a method called to uppercase. So you have a conversion of to lowercase and to uppercase also. My requirement was to uppercase. I'll select this to uppercase, terminated. And after conversion, it has to be stored in a variable. So I'm creating a string variable over here. After this, see here, your output will be in complete uppercase. See here, you have Indian in complete uppercase. So whenever you wanted to convert any of your string inputs into an uppercase or lowercase completely, you can go using this particular method. Okay, followed with, in case if you wanted to find the length of your particular input, then again choose the variable to which you wanted to find the length. Then you call the method length itself. And your length is going to be of integer. Maybe what we'll do is we'll directly keep it inside the printing statement so that it is easy for us. So now have a look. You get 8. What is this 8? The characters. Now tell me, why is it 8? Does Indian an 8 character input?
White space.
Yes. So characters means it is not only the alphabets. Even the space or the special characters will be considered as characters only. Okay, for example, when I say this, now tell me, what is the output? What is the length?
10.
What is the output?
10.
Kirtana, maybe you are not audible enough.
10.
10. Okay. Okay, let me run. You get 10 as your output. Why? Even the single quote is considered as one character only. So always remember, each and every input you give, that is a part of your characters only. You may ask, ma'am, what about double quote? When we say single quote, I have seen students asking about double quotes. Double quotes, it's an indication that it is a string input. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, good. So now moving on, few more methods I'll tell you. In case, okay, now I'll go back to the same input, which is Indian. So now in case I do not want Indian to be completely printed, instead I want a certain characters of my Indian alone to be printed, a part of my input alone to be printed. Then what will I do? I'll directly write inside your printing. I want part of your input from S1. So I'll say S1 dot. The method name is substring. There are two usages of substring. The first one is when I say a number 3. This indicates your begin index. See here, substring integer begin index. What is this begin index? Now tell me, what is the index? Tell me the character in your third index of your input.
N.
N. Okay. Be very careful and answer me. Your index starts from 0. What is the character in your third index?
E.
E. Okay. So whatever the number I give here, from that location, from that index number till the end of your input, you get your output. Could you see? When I say substring of 3, from the third index till the end of your input, you get your output. Even the space is located. That is why your cursor is one space after, one location after your end. Now, in case if I say 2, What is the alphabet in year 2?
N.
N. So your output will be NDIAN. Okay, this is the first user. In case you do not want the compiler to decide the end, you can also decide. That is your second option. You say here 2, 5. So always remember, when you come across with such things, get to know if that is your first one is your begin index, next one is your end index. And always, whenever you give begin index and end index, whatever number you mention in the place of begin, the exact number will be considered. Whatever number you place in the place of end index, one less than that will be considered. Now tell me, what is the alphabet in your second index?
N.
What is the alphabet in your fifth index?
A.
A. So, but the character before A will be printed. See? Because whatever number you mention here, it is one less than the mentioned value always. If you say 5, till 4 it counts. When I say 6, till 5 it counts. Always it is one less than the mentioned value. Begin index, the exact number mentioned. End index, one less than the mentioned value. This you should not always get confused. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So substring is a method used to take a part of your input and use it. Here I'm printing it, but you can use it for any type of manipulation when you want. Now here comes another output. Another method. This time I'm not going to explain. Instead, you guys are going to have a look in your output and tell me what is the difference in your input to output. Okay. Maybe I'll comment all, maybe S1 I'll give it. Maybe I'll comment all this so that you can see the difference. Now, what is the difference to S1 and S1.trim?
Space is removed.
Remove the spaces.
Space is removed. Space from which location is removed?
First and last.
Space from which location is removed?
First
From
and
both starting and ending.
Yes, so trim is a method used to remove the space from the leading and the trailing location. What is leading and trailing? Front and back. Okay, now here the space in front is removed. Similarly, see here when I place my cursor, it is one space after your n. But here I could see after n only the cursor is spaced. So trim is a method whose value is the string. Returns a string whose values with all leading and trailing spaces removed. Leading and trailing means you are removing the front and back spaces. Okay. Now here, I'm going to give S1.strip. There's one more method called strip. So what is the strip method? Read it out and understand. This is how you should learn. Okay, that is why every time I'm placing this and showing you what is written over there. You have to read it out and understand. What is the difference to trim and strip?
Strip includes white spaces also.
White spaces also. Okay. Okay, so here is your task number 1. Okay, maybe the time duration is very short for you guys to find the difference. So I'm giving you as a task. You have to find the difference between trim and strip method along with the PPT, which I'm going to upload it in your Google Classroom. Okay, now this can be on hold. Next, this method is very easy for you. So you get, now what is the method trying to tell us?
Checking whether there is any value stored in that or not.
Just give me a minute. Okay, now tell me what is this asempty method trying to do?
It checks whether the S1 is empty or not.
Yes, it checks whether your input is empty or not. Okay, now I'm going to comment this strip, and now you get false as your output because your input is not an empty input. Okay, now here I'm trying to store. I wanted you to understand this types of storage also, which is very, very important. So let me come up with some example. So we are, everyone understood that your strings are going to accept a sequence of characters or arrays of characters, correct? Now in that case, if I create a character variable, I'll say character C. And if I store inside this character, I mean the same Indian I'll store. Okay, I'll store this in the end. Now, if I try storing this, what is the variable name? S1, right? I'll give S2 is equal to new string. And can I use C here? Is this syntactically right? Yes, no? Yes, Manvita, in case if you're here, you can proceed. So tell me, is this syntactically right? Just tell me yes or no. Just guess it out. What is going to be wrong? Okay, let me wait for you to think.
Maybe no, ma'am.
Okay, you guess to be no. Okay, it's a wrong. Okay. So let me check how many of you comes up with your answers, either as yes or no. Maybe yes. Okay. So the answer is yes. This is right. See here, when I try printing S2, you get your output. See here, there is no compile time error. There is no runtime error. What is our understanding? Strings are going to store your inputs in the sequence. Strings are going to store your inputs in the character array or array of characters. So this is a technical syntactical representation of the theoretical understanding which we have. I am storing an input in the character array format. So strings are array of characters or character array, let it be anything. This is possible. This is correct. In case if you come across with such thing in your interview, please understand that this is not an error. If they have done some processing for manipulation, do that and select your respective output. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this way, always, whenever you are coming across with any theoretical understanding, try implementing it and understand is it right or wrong. Okay. Now here comes your next question. You would have heard this term called mutable. Mutability, immutability whenever you come across with string concept, correct? Okay. What is the English meaning of the word mutable? We'll speak technically later. What is the English meaning of the word mutable?
Changeable.
Changeable. Okay. Modifiable. Okay. Now here, tell me which is mutable, which is immutable. First of all, tell me string is mutable or immutable. String is mutable or immutable?
Mutable. Immutable.
Immutable. Why? Have you guys tried it? Do you have any examples to justify that?
Yes, if we type string hello, if there is a string s1 hello, then we can't access s of S1 of 2 or 3 and we can change it. We can't do that. But while we are using character array, we can do that.
While you are using what?
Character array.
Okay, fine. So now here, why did I speak conceptors here? You would have also heard about the term string buffer builder. Heard about it?
Yes.
Yes. Now I'm going to create a class saying string buffer demo. Okay. So I'm going to create a string variable. String s1 is equal to new string, and I'll give study. Okay. And I'm going to say string buffer. String buffer is again a part of your string class. I'll say SB is equal to new string buffer. I'm going to store the same input study. And done. Now this is also a string variable. This is also a string variable only. There is a minute difference when it comes to thread safety and when it comes to modifications. I mean mutable and immutable state. Okay. Now here what am I going to do is, first of all, tell me, I believe every one of you are aware about the method called concatenation. What is the method used for concatenation?
String dot concatenate.
Neha, did you try telling something? Join, okay. Akib, you came up with some answer, right?
String dot concatenate.
Concatenate, okay. Okay, so in string, we go with a method called concat alone. So we say concat. Concat is a method, concatenates the specified string to the end of this string. Means whatever variable through which we call the method, that will be stored along with your input which you pass as an argument. Now, study will be concatenated with night. Okay, this is how you concatenate in your string concept. And in string buffer, how do you concat? The method name is append. Okay, so I'll show you that also. The method, sorry, it's SB, right? SB dot append. See here, you have append. What does it does? Appends the string representation. And here, since it's Boolean is selected, you get Boolean argument. But here, yeah, string. So see, appends the specified string to the character sequence. The basic understanding is, when it comes to concat, you can pass only your string inputs. But when it comes to append, you can pass all different data types of input. That is the first basic difference. Second basic difference is, here also I am concatenating night. Now, in your string, if I wanted to print study night, inside my printing statement, what should I give? Similarly, in my string buffer, if I wanted to print, my expected output is study night. And here also, my expected output is study night. How do I print it, or what variable should I give there?
S1. S1 and SB.
S1 and SP.
Tell me the line number. We have to give in line number 8 and line number 12. In which line should I give S1?
8.
8, okay. I'll give S1. Okay, in 12,
SB.
SB. Okay. Now let's check the output. I'm running the code. Do you get expected output?
No.
No. Here comes the concept of mutability and immutable. Strings are immutable in nature. String buffers are mutable in nature. Okay. Why? Because strings will be allocated with the specific memory and with a specific length. And if you try modifying it, it considers, now what happens? Your string S1 is equal to new string of study. So inside your heap memory, a separate location will be selected. Study will be stored. Later on, you say S1.concat of night. Concat, you cannot say here the concatenation did not happen at all. Concatenation happened, but it did not store anywhere. Whenever you are working with string variables, you have to store it in a separate variable. And then you have to print it. Only then you get your concatenated output. If you do not store it, automatically it will not be stored in a separate memory also. It will not be overridden, or it will not be overwritten in a already available memory also. That is why we say it is immutable. It is not having the feature of changing the value. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when it comes to string buffer, it is not the case. Okay, it is having a fixed length. So it will be taking it. It is modifiable, mutable. That is why even though I did not store it separately, it is getting stored in the already available memory and you get your output. So now everyone clear why do we say strings are immutable and string buffer is mutable? Please raise up your hands if you are clear. Okay, great, good. So now, followed with string buffer, there are certain things which I wanted you to have an understanding. So let me come up with some examples. Just give me a minute. Okay, so now here, I wanted you to understand about the methods. Okay, so now here, let me go with one more class. String buffer example, which has public static void. Okay, so here I'm creating a string buffer SB is equal to buffer and give an input of hello in it. Done. Now we used a method called length here to find the length of your input. Similarly, here when I say I'll give directly inside your printing SB dot length. In case if I give length, what do you get? You get the length means number of characters. Exact same. But there is one more method called capacity. Here, what is the capacity? Have we tried? Here, let's give a try. I'll show you that output also. So here, I will say S1 dot capacity. Do you have any method called capacity? No. So in your string, you cannot check the capacity because whatever is the length of your input, the same will be your capacity. I mean, there is no difference at all. But when it comes to string buffer, there is a difference. What is this capacity? What is your output you get? What is the capacity of your SB variable?
21.
21. What is the logic behind, if you ask me? To understand that, I will create one more string buffer variable. I'll say S is equal to new string buffer. Now, what is the difference to line number 7 and line number 9?
Line number 7 is empty string buffer and SP is containing hello.
Yes. So line number 7 doesn't receive any input and line number 9 receives an input of hello. Now have a look properly. I'm going to say S dot capacity. Now I'm removing this length. We understood this length, right? Now here you are going to see the difference. What is the difference in value?
It is 5 less than the
5 less than. Why do you get a 5 difference? 5 number difference.
because hello is
Hello,
a
continue.
Hello is a 5-letter input. So the basic understanding is the default capacity of string buffer is 16. Always it is 16. And at the time of creation, if you leave it to be a no input variable, then the default capacity alone will be printed. But at the time of creation, if you pass any input, 16 plus the number of characters, that is length of your input, will be considered as your capacity. Is everyone clear?
Yes, ma'am.
That
Yes,
is
ma'am.
why it is mutable in nature, because it has some extra capacity. So it stores your input. Okay. Now what if I do concatenation? What does it happens? Will there be any change in capacity? Now see here. I say SB dot append. I'll say how are you? I'm appending this. Okay. Now when I try printing SB dot capacity, what do you think? Just guess it out as per the current understanding. Tell me what will be the capacity after appending how are
21
you?
itself.
Can you repeat?
21 itself.
21 itself. Okay. Can you guys accommodate in this 21 is what your question number 1. If yes, then yes 21. If no, then what would be the size? Okay, let's give a try. Now here you get same 21 because what is the available memory for SB? It is 21. Hello is a 5-letter word and how is a 3-letter word. So 5 plus 3 it is 8 and you have a space here plus 1 which is 9 and plus 3 it is 12 and here plus 1 it is 13 and you again already available one, then there will be no change at all. Is everyone clear? Yes. Now here, have a look again. I say sp dot append. I will say I am fine. Now tell me what will be the capacity. You should always consider from the beginning only because it is a continuation of your program, right? Now tell me what will be the size. Will we be able to accommodate within 21's capacity? Yes, no?
No.
No. In that case, what happens is nothing but have a look into your output. Okay, I'm printing SB. I should say capacity. Okay. In that case, have a look and tell me what's your difference in output. From 21 to 44, what is the difference?
22.
22 difference. So what is happening is, what is 21 into 2? How do you get 44 is, whenever I'm trying to append this I am fine, it is running out of capacity. So in that case, it multiplies the previous capacity into 2 and add it with 2. That is the calculation. Do you get 21 into 2 plus 2 to be 44?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So now this is the case. Now here comes, okay, first of all, is this clear till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the first thing is default capacity is 16. Whenever you create your object with an input, then default capacity with the number of or the length of your input. Next, when you try appending, if it can be accommodated within 21, then 21 would be the capacity itself. If you couldn't accommodate, then 21, I mean the current capacity into 2 plus 2 would be your calculation. Now, after doing this 44 also, you are not able to accommodate. So here, I am fine. How are you? I'm asking, or else we'll go with some bigger statement. Tell me some statements which will exceed 44.
Tell me something about yourself.
Okay. Tell me something about yourself. Okay. Now tell me what will be the requirement. So here, your SB's current capacity over here is 21. Okay. So how many, or we can say till here it is 44. We understood very clearly 44 would be the calculation whenever it is running out of space. Now totally you have 5 here, plus 3 it is 8, plus 1 it is 9, plus 3 it is 12, plus 1 it is 13, plus 3 it is 16, plus 1 17. 17 is occupied. Out of 44, 17 is occupied. Next 18, 19, 21, 22, 26 and 3 dots. So 29, 1 space which is 30. And you have 4 more which is 34, 35, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Till H only it can accommodate. Will everyone agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when I run the code, what is your capacity? What do you get?
62.
62. How is it? What was the current capacity? 44. When I say 44 into 2 plus 2, is it 62 or something else?
Something else.
Something else. Then what is happening? So whenever for one time the calculation is done, even after that the space is not enough. What it happens is it just calculated manually. So here what happens? 44. So 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. Do you see?
Yeah.
Yes. So the basic understanding is whenever you're trying to append it, first thing will be checked is, will I be able to accommodate? If yes, there will be no change in capacity. If I am not able to be accommodated, this calculation will be performed. If it can be accommodated, it accommodates end of your program. After calculation also, if it cannot be accommodated, it just sees how much is the requirement and it adds the expected alone. It does not redo the calculation. Clear? For one append call, only one time calculation will be done. Is everyone clear with this? Please do give me a confirmation. So this types of questions you get in your interview. Only one thing which you should keep it in your mind. For one append call, only one time calculation. Even if it is insufficient, add only the required one. Do not do the calculation. Okay, good. So now here is your spacing, I mean capacity oriented one. Now here comes one more concept which I wanted you to understand, which is ensure capacity. What is this ensure capacity? Is nothing but, now here, let me comment all this. Or else let's imagine, right now your SB capacity is 62. So let me say SB dot ensure capacity to be 70. Okay, whatever, why do we get an error here? Did I write outside? Okay. Okay, we cannot directly write it. Maybe I thought of doing a shortcut. So here what am I doing is I'm saying ensure capacity of 70. What is this ensure capacity? I'll tell you. Now, after ensuring it, okay, now if you try checking your capacity, see what is the difference. I'm going to write two. Okay, I already have a printing. I'm going to write two different things. Have a look properly. When I say this two lines is paired up. Okay. Now here I'm going to say SB dot ensure capacity of 50. Then I print SB dot capacity. Now, what is this ensure capacity is? The ensure capacity is a method which ensures does that capacity is at least 70. What is at least 70? It should be either 70 or less than 70. At least 70 does it have or not? Now tell me what is the current capacity of SB?
62.
62. Does it falls at least 70 condition?
Yes.
No.
Yes or no?
No, no.
At least 70. Okay, let's check it out. That is why I gave you two different possibility. Check what is happening. It doubles up. Could you see that? 62 into 2. What happens? 62 into 2
124.
plus 2. What is the result?
126.
126. Do you see the same answer?
Yes.
Yes. So whenever you are passing any input and you check, does it at least have the respective value? If it at least has that value, then well and good. It goes with the same capacity. If it does not have that, then it does the similar calculation. Okay. Now I'll give 60 here. Now what happens? Is it at least 62? I mean at least 60?
Yes.
Yes. Now see, you get 62 only as your output. Are you getting the point? Maybe I'll remove this. This one statement alone tell me, when I give 70, does it at least 70 or less than 70?
Less than 70.
So it does the calculation and it gives you the updated value. When I say 60, it is going to be at least condition is satisfied. So it considers the already available capacity. Two things only. If at least condition is satisfied, it considers the current capacity as the capacity itself. If it does not satisfy, it does the calculation and gives the new capacity. That is ensure capacity. So I'll show you the definition. Ensures that the capacity is at least equal to the specified minimum. If the current capacity is less than the argument, then new internal array is allocated with a greater capacity. What is the calculation? See, twice the old capacity plus 2. This is what we did till now. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
great. So here comes the end of your. Okay, there's small one more thing which I forgot to tell you. I'll tell you that also. Now we were speaking about the capacities, right? So I told you when it is no input, 16. When you pass a string input, then default plus the number of characters. Now I'm commenting all this. And here I'm creating a string buffer variable. I'll say SB is equal to new string buffer of 100. Now, when I try printing SB dot capacity, now what will be the capacity? I have told you two different cases. This is your third one.
100.
100. Okay, others. So yes, that is right. So whenever you pass an integer value, whatever number you give, that will be the capacity. Clear? Okay, good. So now the same thing is applied for your builder also, string builder also. The one major difference is with respect to your thread. And when we cover this multi-threading concepts, you'll understand that. Okay. So now I believe every one of you are in the Google Classroom, right?